up, everybody? Another day. Great weekend I had, man. It was awesome. We're hanging with Mark and Dougie, man. The shows are getting better and better, and I'm enjoying them, man. We're having a lot of fun doing them. This Halloween was a trip, man. I went as Joe Biden. And you know what? I thought I was going to get more flack than what I did. But the first party I went to was a wedding at a biker bar. And everybody was in costume, which was hilarious. It was one of the best weddings I've ever been in my life. And I walked in, I'm like, I'm going to get some, someone saying, but they all loved me. They all took pictures with me. They started screaming, "Let's go, Brandon," as soon as I walked in. So it was a trip, man. I had a good time. Then I went to another party, and they were very conservative. And even some of the more liberal people that I hang out with, which I don't hang out with a lot, but my girlfriend has a couple of liberal friends, they actually enjoyed the costume because they see what's going on. And it's kind of easy now. It was an easy costume to get, and it made a lot of sense for me, What about your Halloween, Doug?
Well, we actually got a bunch of chocolate bars for the kids, but no kids came to our neighborhood this year. And this is the first year we've been here, but which means there's a lot of Hershey's, Kit Kats, Reese's.
Not good for you.
Yeah. It's not good because now, you know what it is? I have to renew. This is the time, November 1st. Yesterday, now it's time to renew your health insurance, everybody. You got to go back on there. And thanks to President Trump from his last term, was able to get rid of the mandate that everybody had to get everybody had to sign up for Obamacare, which meant if you weren't planning to have kids, you have to buy health insurance. That meant you got maternity. If you're pretty much balanced and shit, you had to get coverage that covered psychic shit and drug rehab and all. No, I don't need any of that. So
psychic maybe a little bit. I've talked to you.
I mean, we got a way to let that out here. We got a way to talk it off here. We have our own type of self-therapy. But yeah, so it's interesting. I had to go to the medical questionnaires, when it's always great when they ask you about have you ever had STDs or anything like that. You're like, no. No.
Yeah, there's always some questions, no matter what the answer, it's always no. Certain things you're gonna lie about,
No, I don't remember anything like that. So yeah, that was interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we'll start out with a quick little story I thought was kind of funny, man. I hear all these people, these women complaining about childbirth, how tough it is. I don't know, how tough can it really be? This woman had a baby going 60 miles an hour. She just popped it out, man. It was like nothing, and that's it. I mean, how hard could it be? At 60 miles an hour, she was able to handle this.
Yeah. Was she driving automatic or was she driving?
Well, she was the passenger, but still, I mean, she was the passenger. He was driving the whole way because he's like, you know what? I'm going to get to the hospital. Let the professionals do this because I don't want to do it. And that's what I would do. If my wife was having a baby, I'm like, I'm getting to the hospital because that's the last thing I want to do is to perform something like that. Exactly.
So she's like, ready to receive the baby.
So he got to the hospital, like, come on, honey, let's go. He goes, we did it already. I got it. Here he is. Yeah, hold your baby. Yeah. They had it all done. It was all set up.
I wonder what that back seat looked like.
Oh my God. Hope it was a rent-a-car.
Yeah, that or I hope they have that WeatherTech shit. The WeatherTech liners. Keep your car, keeps the.
So I know we're gonna get hell on that one from some mothers out there, but I just thought it was kind of funny because here she is, man. That's what not for anything. That's one tough chick, because I'll be honest with you, if men had to have children, they would be dinosaurs. It's the first time a man had to push a baby through. Like, I'm never doing this again. As much as I like sex, I would never have sex again if I have to push a baby out.
Yeah, I wonder how many guys would stop having sex if it meant they can get pregnant. Like, hey, baby, slow down. I hardly know you. Let's get to know each other a little bit before I think I'm going to go through 9 months of that shit.
Exactly. So here's some breaking news I just heard now, actually, when I was walking over here in my shop. Henry Ruggs, a superstar wide receiver rookie for the Raiders. Some more controversy for the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. He got DUI, and not only was it a DUI, he fatality. There was he actually killed somebody in the DUI. And I don't get this, man. You make millions of dollars. I think his contract was in several $1 million. I mean, it was a big contract, first round draft pick, first round. And why do you have to drive drunk? Seriously, why don't you get a driver, get an Uber with all the money you have? Why don't risk that? And I'm just curious, is this news going to be as big as John Gruden's news? I mean, John Gruden typed a couple insensitive things, but this man actually took someone's life.
Vehicular manslaughter with a DUI and driving under the influence. That's a manslaughter case. And who knows, right? That there's obviously a victim in that one. Yeah. There's obviously a victim. Somebody died. And as to ask, what money and prestige has to do with it, that just shows you there's an ego. When somebody doesn't, I can fucking drive, don't worry about me, and they get behind the wheel and they kill somebody.
I mean, I personally Uber everywhere. I don't take a chance. When I was younger, I took some chances, But listen, this guy is an athlete that got paid millions of dollars. Why take the risk, first of all? Why take the risk, first of all? You can hire a driver, and there should be some serious consequences. I know Dante Stallworth years ago for the Eagles did the same thing, and he was playing in the NFL within 2 years. But he didn't have a mean tweet, so I get it. If he would have said something negative in a tweet, then you would, stop his career. But killing somebody,
that's forgivable.
Yeah, it's forgivable.
He only killed somebody. He only ran somebody over. That's it.
Yeah, but Gruden will be in the news for still forever. But this might probably be out of the news tomorrow. Actually, a lot of people didn't even hear this. I mean, this is like I'm in the sports industry, so I heard it first, but it's not real big news. And you think it would be big news?
Well, he's a rookie. He was a rookie this year.
He was a rookie this year, and I want to say he had a several $1 million contract. It was a pretty big contract. I mean, it was a first round, and he was supposed to be a mega superstar. I mean, he had speed, he had power, he was a decent running back. Henry Ruggs, yeah.
Bad decisions, almost like that guy Jean-Pierre, that guy who played for the New York Giants, who blew his hand off lighting his own firecrackers.
But he's still playing. He plays with the Bucks now, and when a laugh,
mallet. He's got a big old mallet on his hand.
Yeah, and he's still playing at a high level. I mean, he's still playing. They lost this week, but he's still playing at a high level. But we'll see what happens with Ruggs. I think there should be a heavy consequence on that. I have a feeling he'll be back in the NFL. I have a feeling he'll be back in the NFL.
You think? I mean, listen. That's a bit like, is he going to go to jail? I mean, that's DUI manslaughter.
Probably not. I remember a little from the Rams. I had a DUI, and he didn't go. None of them go to jail.
Yeah, but he died. He had a DUI. Yeah, did he kill somebody?
Yeah. And Dante Stallworth also. Dante Stallworth, I think, did 3 months in prison. But there's been several that haven't. And hey, listen, when you have money, you get away with certain things, man. Money and fame, you get away with certain things. That's what it is. It's not if you're innocent or guilty. It's who has the best lawyer.
Well, of course.
Of course. About. Yeah.
So save up your money, kids, for when the time you get arrested for making some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Legal trust fund.
But the Raiders, they're going through something right now, man. There's a lot of, and the NFL is always something going on in the NFL. And I just think it's funny that Gruden was the guinea pig, and there's so many other things going on in the NFL with spousal abuse and DUIs and all kinds of stuff. But Gruden was made example of out of all the things that are happening.
No doubt.
Yep. So is anybody watching this Kaepernick special?
He has
that? He has a Netflix show, and it's like Colin Kaepernick black and white, like this big thing. He's actually talking about the NFL draft being the same thing as slavery.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think he's watched Roots very often. And if he did, Chicken Little had it a little rougher than he had it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, getting a $1 million contract, if that's slavery, please make me a slave. I want to be a slave tomorrow.
I think you can go to any country on earth and say, hey, get on this boat, come on over to our country. We're going to let you work for 10 or 15 years at most, maybe make anywhere between 10 to 50 million bucks, and get to bang white women. Who's not going to sign it?
But what I'm saying is, it's so funny that Netflix actually put this on air. Isn't everybody tired of Kaepernick? First of all, he was a shitty quarterback. If he wasn't even a good quarterback. The reason why he's not in the NFL is because he's a shitty quarterback. Yeah. If he was a good quarterback, it wouldn't matter, and he wouldn't have all these issues. He didn't have any of these issues when he was okay his rookie season. Yeah. He didn't nail his first year when he started going downhill. He needed the attention, like a Kardashian or like anybody else. Yeah. He needed the attention, and this is the way he got it. He's got his Netflix special. He's got everything he wants. And if this is slavery, like I said, sign me up. I want to be signed up tomorrow if I can.
Yeah, that's not a bad paying gig.
Yeah. And he said that they're checking how fast you are. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? They're checking your body fat. Of course they are. They're investing millions of dollars. And if you buy a car, you're going to check the car out. You're not going to buy $100,000 car and not check the engine and take it for a test drive. It's the same thing.
Are you saying 400 years ago, the colonizers had a combine where exactly. they tested every, imagine that's how slavery worked. They brought young people up. This person can do this as a work, or this is a person, Yeah. It's almost like when we were in high school. Remember, we had the slave, like as a men, you had the athletes.
Yeah. You had that in high school.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I wonder if they do that in high schools anymore like that. They let
Oh,
you,
not
like,
with the
can you
woke
imagine?
culture. Not
No,
with
you
the,
can't.
explain what you're talking about because some people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like we understand it, but explain
Yeah,
what
like
you're talking about.
like in powder puff years, like where basically the football players wore the cheerleader outfits, right? They were dressed in drag basically, and the women dressed, the cheerleaders and the staff all dressed like football players.
Yeah.
There was like, but you can the athletes at certain times were how do you say like what you do, they fucking auction
Yeah.
to people that they can have that person a slave
For
for
the
the
day.
day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Slave for the day. I was a slave for the day. I had to wear a
Yeah.
big purple diaper, and I
Yeah.
wore a bib, and I was a soccer player. I had, I had to walk around with diapers and a bib and all shit and take care of this one girl who bought me.
Hey, so now you can have reparations. So now you get a good lawyer. It won't work. You're not the right color, but you should have reparations for it actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got to get new lighting in the studio. Yeah, that's you're right. I mean, like think about that. Like, you know what? No wonder I feel so. Oh, I feel so down. Like, no wonder I haven't made it in life because I was sold as a slave one day in high school.
Yeah, it's all downhill since then, Doug. It hasn't gotten any better.
Well, yeah, I don't want to. Obviously, that is no comparison, but it's definitely not like the NFL either. But I wonder if they do that in schools. They probably don't.
And listen, and I think what Kaepernick is saying and doing on Netflix is a slap in the face to people that were actually slaves. I mean, all over the country, not just U.S. Because like we talked about, U.S. was 5% of slavery in the world, but we only talk about U.S. That's all we talk about.
Yeah.
But I think it's a slap in the face for someone that was actually a slave, whether they be in Africa, because there's millions of slaves in Africa and they still are.
Why we go about like Kaepernick was raised by two white people that had died. I mean, come on, dude. This guy was, I mean, just give me, like, you're right. All he's doing is reaching for some significance.
He didn't see what a lot of people did see. He didn't see it. He had two loving parents, which a lot of people don't have, white or black. There's a lot of white people, Hispanic people, all different colors and races that have parents that aren't proper or don't have two parents. So it's not just a minority thing,
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, speaking of that, I don't know if you know, but there's a big ruling. They're going to vote in Minneapolis about abolishing the police or not. Forgot to bring that up on the pre-show. So in Minneapolis, if you live in Minneapolis, you're about to find out if your town's about to get rid of the police department completely.
I bet you gun sales are going through the roof.
I would imagine. And they're also saying, listen, we're going to put together like a, how do you say it? Like a protective community, so that they're going to send out,
that's going to work.
So I can't wait. Oh my God, if this passes, it's going to be amazing how many social workers are shot. How many psychologists are going to go, fuck this, I ain't going to pay enough to do this shit. Let's just see. I would like to actually see this go through and watch how bad it fails, just to add on to the miserableness that the Democrats are, who they are, what they really stand for, and how bad this country would be if they.
You know how you fix all this, Doug? It's a simple fix. Make people do a ride along one night with a police officer, and then they'll say, you know what? I'm not defunding anything, because they don't know that there's people that are animals out there. There are animals that don't listen, all colors, and they're animals and they don't listen. And you want to know something? Defunding the police is so stupid, and so even to say the word this is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's anarchy without the police. It just doesn't work. They tried it in other places and it doesn't work.
Evil exists, everybody. Don't try to ignore it, or don't try to defend it or make excuses for it.
Don't worry. In about a month, they're going to be begging for police to come back in. They're going to be begging. They're like, who do I dial? 911? Who do I dial now? I have no idea. I'm getting beat. I'm getting robbed. Is there a social worker around there? I mean, it's just.
They're going to have an answer machine. Please stay calm. The world around you is a better place when you handle it better.
And I love how they say, we're going to take turns. I was listening to some of the meeting. We're going to take turns and watch, and you can't. It's so ridiculous, man. And you'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be very quick. Just like the same people that voted for Biden, they're like, we got rid of Trump, and they're seeing what's going on now. It's going to be the same thing with the police department.
Exactly. And you know what? There's already a lot of towns and cities in this country that have decided to do that, and they're trying to refund the police. Let's refund these fucking people. Minneapolis residents today will vote on hotly contested ballot question to decide the future of policing their city, whether they want to replace police to do it department or altogether Department of Public Safety.
So we'll see what happens with that, man. I can't imagine that it's going to last for very long. If it gets approved, we'll see if it gets approved first.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that's. And you know what? I don't give a shit. Listen, first of all, I don't live in Minneapolis. I mean, there's I have a couple friends that live there, but I think it would be a great national experiment if they do have that happen, to watch it all. Just another example of what Democratic leadership can do to.
Let's experiment in Minnesota, not Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
but listen. We got DeSantis. I ain't worried about anything.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I'm on cruise control in Florida. Oh, I'm like, first gear, second. I love this guy, bro. I love him.
Yeah, I agree. And
talking about DeSantis, he's like, Biden, what is your problem? Why would you give almost $500,000 to every illegal alien that's separated from his family? I mean, what are you thinking? DeSantis is just saying he's scratching his head, and we're all scratching our head with DeSantis.
Was it 450,000 or 450 million? What is it?
$450,000.
$450,000 per illegal immigrant that comes here as a way to help them get along.
Yeah, that's separate from their family. So why wouldn't you do that? Why? I'd be separated from my family in a heartbeat for that.
Yeah.
Not my family, but I'm saying if I had nothing to go, but it's ridiculous. And I don't think that's going to go through, but
listen, nothing's going through with this idiot. Okay, that's the good thing. I had a friend of mine on Facebook post, look at the stock market. It's doing great. And Biden, I go, the only reason the market's doing well right now through this last quarter, through as bad as it was a few weeks before, is because the markets and the global markets realize Biden has no power. He's not going to get anything done. So all this tax concerns and which can really derail the economy is less likely to pass. So look at what you're doing. And, very, very 9 times out of 10 has nothing to do with who is president. Every once in a while, there's something that happens in the short run, but it is not,
Well, the fact that we have a race in Virginia is a good sign, because there should be no race in Virginia. Virginia's the biggest Democrat state out of all of them almost. And the fact that we actually have a race just shows you that people are tired. People are tired. They're sick.
Enough already. People saying enough of this shit. You're fucking bring back the mean orange guy. Bring him back.
I'll take him. We'll take him. I always liked them anyway, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We'll see what happens in Virginia, and we'll see what happens in other places. But he's done, man. He's done. Like I said, the over-under on this, if there was a Vegas line, he won't make it past the second year. There's no way. I don't think there's a chance of it. There's got
to be a line on this in Vegas, isn't there?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
There's got to be somebody to say how long it's going to be before he just starts blowing bubbles.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm going to find the line out, and I'll tell you, because I might bet it. That's a good bet. That's a safe bet. That's a pretty safe bet. Yeah, I don't think it's
bet on that and Tom Brady. You're good, buddy.
I don't know. Brady lost me this week again, man. And I can't bet with Brady anymore, man. He lost the last 3 weeks, but he covered. He hasn't covered yet. And last week they were just trying to lose, man. It wasn't really Brady's fault. He threw the pick at the end of the game, but
I bet you're not happy about that sports book being open at the old Hard Rock there.
Well, I have my own private guy, but I haven't placed my first bet yet at the Hard Rock. I was thinking about actually going tonight and putting a couple of games in tonight.
I got you.
Baseball and stuff.
Hey, but at least you didn't lose. I don't know if you've heard. The cryptocurrencies are big. Everybody's talking about.
Oh yeah.
Huge. But that game Squid. That thing talking about Netflix on Squid Games.
I just finished watching it.
Did you watch the whole series? The whole season?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I watched the first episode. I couldn't get through it, but it's
hard because of the subtitles. The subtitles are a pain in the ass. I like to go on my computer, play games, and go on eBay and stuff. So you really got to pay attention. But it's pretty good, man. For a goofy show, it's pretty good.
All right. Well, there was a cryptocurrency released that's inspired by the Squid Games, and you talk about losing money. You didn't lose. I'm sure you didn't lose as much money as these poor people did. Investing in this, because everybody wants to get it, Yeah. And but the cryptocurrency, of course, I got some stupid shit come up here. I gotta.
But people are sheep, and anything that's hot, people will put their money into. The Squid Games was hot. It was like the #1 Halloween costume. So when something's hot, that's how America is. They don't investigate anything that's hot, so you just put your money into it.
Yeah. Well, they did it, and of course, now it's asking me for all kinds of shit to sign in and stuff. But yeah, people did, and they got in there. It went from like dollars to like $600, and
wow.
And it was just crazy. So everybody started buying into it, and then it went from that to nothing.
Yep. Well, you did pretty good if you bought it and it got to real high and you sold it. That's if you're a good, investor. Sometimes that's what you do. That's going to pop the bubble, and you just sell it before it pops.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, because again, that's the timing thing, and everybody thinks they can do the timing. But yeah, so it went to nothing, and there's about 44,000 people that weren't able to sell it, and then they got stuck in it, and it got to zero. So, hey, I mean, beware, buyer beware, man. Be a buyer beware.
On that story, because that's kind of a sad story, people losing money. I got a good story just to cheer you up a little bit.
All right.
A guy named John Eisman. Not that it's a good story in the beginning. It's going to be a little sad in the beginning, but it gets good. You got to listen to the whole story. But John Eisman, his daughter was captured by the boyfriend and made into sex trafficking. She forced into sex trafficking. The daughter got released. She ran away. And she got back home, and she told her father what had happened. He found the guy and beat him to death with a cinder block, which I thought was a pretty happy story. And everybody lived happily ever after, besides the creep. And he's charged. That's the only sad thing. He did get charged, and he beat him with a cinder block and stabbed him. So he finished the job.
Wait a minute. He beat him with a cinder block and then thought, that's not enough.
Yeah, that day he goes, well, I'm going to make sure he's dead. And you know what? If someone did that to your daughter, beating with a cinder block's not quite enough, Doug. You need a little bit more than beating with a cinder block.
Well, a cinder block is very hard to wield. I mean, I'd rather use a bat or some baton. But cinder block, it's a two-handed thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but yeah, so so the guy got charged. He's got charged for murder.
He did get charged for first-degree murder, yeah. And I guess he planned it out. But listen, get me on the jury. You're fine. Me and you, Doug, on the jury. He's fine. He's going to Disney.
Yeah, we would not pass the voir dire process.
And that's the sad thing is, as a guy like this will probably do time in this fucked up society we live in, and then a guy that kills somebody innocent like Henry Ruggs will get off, or O.J. Simpson, or somebody else, or Casey Anthony at that, But this guy who's, and listen, it's your child. I can't imagine not doing what he did. I really can't imagine not doing what he did, So,
I mean, it's something to say about vigilantism and taking the being judge, jury yourself and killing somebody without due process. I'm still all for due process. But I also believe in, the spirit of the moment. And if somebody, I mean, if I, God forbid, something happened to my family or my wife, and I saw the guy, listen, if I came in my house and somebody was on top of my wife, and my gun's going to be pulled out, and the guy's going to have a new hole in his head.
Exactly.
And
so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that he gets the proper jury and they give him a very light sentence or no sentence at all, because I think he did the correct thing, to be honest with you. That's something any true American would do. So,
yeah. Here's the thing. It's like a lot of people talking about like virtue signing, like, hey, virtue signaling, like, hey, look at me, I'm doing all this great stuff for the world. But they had that big meeting with the global warming and the thing over in Scotland or whatever it was. But VIPs, including Jeff Bezos, all flew there for the climate conference. And they had a picture of all the private jets parked, 400 private jets for these people that are telling us that we're fucking up the world with all our fucking...
Yeah, but my little Mazda two-seater is killing the world. You know what I'm saying? This guy's got a jet, but my Toyota Celica is the reason why this climate control is ending. You know what I'm saying?
Look at Jeff Bezos, like, hold on, I got to go get my mail.
And it was, and I heard it was such an important meeting that people were like riveted. Like Biden was just paying so much. Oh, he was sleeping.
Yeah,
he was sound asleep. I mean, listen. If me and you were sound asleep, it's okay. We don't give a fuck. We think it's all bullshit anyway. But this is the guy that's pitching the Green New Deal. You better pay attention. You can't get caught sleeping. They didn't give him his dose of Adderall, man. I can't miss it. You can't miss that dose, bro.
Yeah,
Adderall, you have to have it. You gotta take it.
He went nighty-night. And listen, I can't blame him on that. I would probably fall asleep to that same meeting. I mean,
you can if that's the thing you're pitching, bro. If this is the thing that's the most important thing in your election. This is why you got elected, because you said the Green New Deal and you said this and you said that. It was climate control was the number one things that the left was pitching. You can't fall asleep during the meeting.
Yeah, well, well, he did, and he answered some questions after, and he was like, and they asked him. They asked him, by the way, after that meeting about how he thinks what's happening in Virginia. He says, "We're going to win," and he did another whispery moment. He's like, whose economy's coming back? The U.S. The U.S.
Is that what they told him? Is that what they told him?
Well, he was talking about all the economies. Now the U.S. is coming back through all the, which listen, I love the way the Biden administration says we created millions of jobs. No, you didn't. These are people that went back to fucking work, you dummy. After pandemic,
after COVID,
there's no creation of work. There was no creation of the job. They were all there.
It's actually the opposite. People don't want to work. They want to get free money. It's the opposite. People don't want to work. There's jobs out there and they don't want to work.
Companies like Uber and Lyft just reported, and they're having trouble. They're having trouble with getting people back to work. So, what are you gonna do?
Talking about driving, just the same subject. I think this is a funny story, actually, because it's so ridiculous, this country. Kyle Busch, I believe it was Kyle Busch. Let me read this. Yeah, Kyle Busch, going 218 miles an hour, getting cut off. You might say a couple of things. I'm sure my sensitivity would be not so great either. He said, "Move out of the way, you retard." He's just out of anger because he almost died on one of the turns. On turn number 97, his life flashed upon his eyes, and he said a word. Now, NASCAR says he needs sensitivity training. Dude, it just gets better and better, bro. It's just ridiculous, man. It's so stupid. They're just ruining everything, man. They're not that's a word you need to use, but you're driving at a speed. The last thing you're worried about, the word is that you're saying. What do you say when someone almost kills you, cuts you off?
Is this really a personality disorder with this guy? I mean, come on, the guy. No. He's a fucking redneck driving a car around a circle. I mean, you're going to worry about these? He uses the word retard. I mean, come on, enough's enough.
We have MMA fighting when people beat each other to the death like the Roman times, but we need sensitivity training for NASCAR.
Oh, did you see that they actually, one promoter put this fight together with a guy and a woman?
I seen that.
You see that? And the woman got the shit.
It was not in the United States, but
it was outside. But one of these fight promoters are like, well, women want to. The woman got that shit kicked out of her.
There's a reason why we have weight classes. Hey, listen, there's a reason why we have the WNBA and the NBA. Because if LeBron James cross-dresses to a woman, he's scoring 114 points a game. He's blocking 47 shots. They're winning by 90. So there's a reason why they have the WNBA, and there's a reason why they have the NBA. So
maybe we found out what Colin Kaepernick will be doing next year. Maybe he's going to transition to a woman and start playing in the WNBA. Imagine if even then he was sitting on the bench. That would be fucking great.
And I think it's hilarious with Colin Kaepernick because he's not a good football player, and everybody's give him a second chance. Why? If you're good, you get a second chance. You're not good. You can't just cry and kneel and say, "I need a second chance." You have to be good enough. You're not good enough.
Yeah. I heard Tim Tebow is going to write a book about how being white was so privileged, and that no one likes him because he's Christian.
Is this true?
Yeah. No, it's a joke.
Oh, I'm about to say, because that doesn't sound like Tim Tebow.
Talk about two completely different human beings.
Tim Tebow, and what's so funny? This is what fucking drives me nuts, dude. Everybody roots for Colin Kaepernick. Not me, not you, but a lot of people do. Everybody says fuck Tim Tebow. People hate Tim Tebow. Even when he went to try as a tight end, they're like, "Oh, he's taking another man." Dude, why can't he try? Here's a guy that causes no harm in the world. A great locker room, a role model, has football talent. I don't care if you tell me not. He has football talent. Okay, he won the Heisman. He was a great college player. He was a good pro player. He was a decent pro player. I'm not saying he was, Brady or Peyton Manning, but he was decent. He was okay. He was better than Kaepernick. But everybody wants him to fail, but they want Kaepernick to succeed. And to me, that means the world's upside down. When good is bad and bad is good, the world is upside down.
It's definitely upside down. Here's a little story that proves things are normal. In North Korea, they're reportedly telling its people to consume less food. Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is, he's gotten thin, because he had some kidney problem. But he's basically telling his people, don't eat so much. Don't eat so much. You stop eating.
Meanwhile, he's eating everything if he can.
Yeah, save it for me. Save it for me. And they're actually going to. One of the things they're one of the solutions that the North Korean government's coming up with is to start eating black swans. So maybe Colin Kaepernick's a little upset about North Koreans eating black swans.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah. There's reportedly forced to open up United Nations agencies. Country has recently allowed shipments of aid while Chinese figures show slow increase in trade. I mean, who wants North Korea? And so this just goes out to all these students. These students that want to have communism here and socialism. Just go to North Korea.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the funny thing that we talk about every time. We don't realize how great America is till you go to another country. When you go to another country, like I've been on vacation to countries, Colombia, I've been to everywhere. I've been Korea. I was in Korea. I was in Thailand. And once you go to other countries, you want to kiss the ground when you get back because everything is so different in other countries. You're just a number there. Here you can be something. On that note, Doug, we're passing 30 minutes.
By the way, let me do this real quick. So for the kids studying at home, that's a sign of ethnocentricity. Ethnocentricity. I forgot the fucking word. I don't even know what it is. Don't listen to me.
I'll be honest with you. That word's way too big for me.
If you're being ethnocentric, that means you're just from here. You think everything is your whole universe is based on your experience living in this country. So
yeah,
you're ethnocentric.
Yep. This is true. Listen, everybody. At this point, we're past 30 minutes. We want the shows kind of stick to a format. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be starting a new format. I'm excited about it. A lot of big things.
Big news, by the way. Big news. We're up. We're going to have all kinds of upgrades and stuff. We're going with a new network.
Big audience.
About that. We're going to be off for 2 weeks, everybody. Yeah. So we'll be back. All big and bright and better.
Yeah, we got a lot of big things ahead, and the show is taking storm, man. We're getting a lot of views, and it's becoming good. We actually have a couple people that want to come on board and help us out because they like our show, and I'm pretty excited about it. And that being said, Doug, what do you got going on this week?
I'm off. I got my stepdaughter coming in town for a week. We're going to be there, but next week, on the 10th of November, next Wednesday, I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale at Gatsby's joint. Nice. And then Friday, Saturday, I'm going to be at Gregory's in Cocoa Beach. And then Sunday, the 14th, I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale at the Savar Cinema promoting our Beer Kings pilot, our TV pilot that's going to premiere at the Savar Theater in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, the 14th. The Beer Kings, me and Richie Minervini, Audrey Lynn. Great show. So hopefully let's keep our fingers crossed. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it.
I actually watched the preview. I thought it was very funny. I've seen a couple of actors there that I've seen before. And I think it's going to be very successful. I want to see it. I'm pretty excited. So the showing is going to be at this cinema. So after that, where does it go, the show?
Then it goes and they're trying to get pushed. Somebody likes it. I don't want to give anything away. There's a couple big people. I won't mention his name, but Jerry Seinfeld's seen it and made some notes on it. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But hey, it's like anything. I mean, there's a million pilots made every year. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, not enough to fly United.
It's hard, man. I'm actually working on the same thing as you. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's still in the makings and it's a reality show. So we'll see what happens. Hey, listen, the only way things get done is trying. So all you people that want to cry, you can't get anything done. You're not trying. You try things, you get things done. It just happens. It has nothing to do with your color, nothing to do with your race. It has to do with your work ethic. You have decent work ethic. Yes. You have decent work ethic and you try, things will happen. Things will come your way.
Your character, indomitable spirit.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Me, I'm doing what I always do, man. Working on a couple things. I got my shop. I love what I do, man. We have auctions and buy a lot of merchandise, buying jewelry, buying everything. If you're in the neighborhood in Pompano, 418 North Federal Highway, bring some stuff by, man. We'll check it out. We'll give you free appraisals. We started a card grading service. We're grading cards now. We're doing a lot of things. So I'm pretty excited. Everybody, enjoy what you do. Keep hustling, love life, and enjoy.
That's all we have here. And follow me at Funny Fiduciary on TikTok and Twitter, and Dougie Dangerous on Instagram, everybody.
Peace.
Take care.